What's going on, guys? Ribombee teacher in the house, and welcome back to Ask Ribombee, where you ask the questions and I answer them at the end of the month. It's been a minute since we've done this series. We took a break from it for quite a while we were still relatively small, but we've had a lot of new followers, new members to our community. Welcoming everyone who has joined us since then. It's a pleasure to have you all here, of course. But of course, with new faces coming in, comes a lot of new questions. Some questions have been asked before, but the series is quite old now, so I'm going to answer them again anyway, just to give you guys input and various things like that. But of course, we do this the last Sunday of every month, so if you want your questions answered, down below is a link to my Discord alongside all my other socials. Please go in my Discord. There is a section in there called Ask Ribombee Questions. Ask me away in there, and I'll cover it at the end of each month. Alright then. So, first up is gonna be the question I get asked quite often actually is what inspired you to start streaming? So, a lot of people kind of have a person they want to emulate and stuff like that. For me, that's kind of not the case. I was more inspired by the opportunity to improve my mental health. A lot of you guys know, and I've been a lot more open about this, I've suffered through major mental health disorders all of my life, basically, and stuff like that. So streaming was a way for me to kind of put myself out there and kind of get used to seeing myself on screen. I hate looking at myself. I still think I'm ugly. I know a lot of people tell me otherwise and stuff like that. So my inspiration really was to kind of push myself, but at the same time kind of push other people with me. And kind of streaming provided me an opportunity to, you know, not only improve my own mental health, but inspire other people to do the same. And I wanted to be that pillar of support for people, to really kind of help develop the world and make the world a better place. So that's why I started. That was kind of my thought process, and I've been very grateful to those who have joined me along this journey. You guys have done more for me than you'll ever know. Alright. Next up is an interesting question that came up on a YouTube comment recently. And it is, if Streamlabs would be so kind, thank you, do you think you could return to teaching with your YouTube and Twitch presence? So, the premise of this is like, surely kids would look up to this sort of thing and stuff like that. So, unfortunately, that's not really how education works. So, when you're teaching and stuff like that, your social media presence is completely privated. Like, you will not really be that accessible. We're often trained in what we call e-safety and stuff like that, so that in case any students found you on the internet and stuff like that, it would look a lot less dodgy, right? One of my friends, Hermes Game Corner, does actually stream. He is a practicing teacher. Like me, he taught younger children and stuff like that. So there would have to be a lot of changes involved around my social media presence and stuff like that. And aside from that, I don't think I would ever go back to teaching after I left in 2018. For those who are obviously very familiar with COVID and stuff like that going on, the whole state of the profession has been dire for years, and it's only getting worse and worse, and that was part of why I left in the first place. And until the state of education improves, which I don't ever see it happening while it's still under government control, I don't think I would ever go back to teaching anyway. And if I did go back to teaching, I certainly wouldn't be talking about YouTube or Twitch. That never happens in the education profession. It just doesn't work like that. So yeah, it's a good question, but no. Next up is actually kind of somewhat related to that. I talked about changes and stuff and the sort of things I would have to go for. And this was a question that I actually got asked by another streamer friend of mine, and it's, have I ever considered going family friendly? Now, I obviously stream a lot of Pokemon. That is the main basis for my content. My whole branding is around Pokemon, etc., etc. But I'm not particularly politically correct. I'm not gonna lie. So being family friendly is always an interesting choice, and I think it's a choice you should make when you start streaming and stick to it. And look, since I've been in the security profession, I use a lot of choice phrases, alright? I never used to use them while I was teaching. It's kind of a bad habit I've picked up from being in security. But the honest truth is that I don't think I could do full family-friendly streams that easily. I have a no swearing channel point redemption for 5 minutes on my stream, which certain people, Voltage Gamer Girl MCQ, likes to abuse. She's not the only one, but she does it a lot and she laughs about it all the time. So, yeah, I don't think I could really change to family friendly, and if I did, yes, I might get more viewers because Pokemon has a younger viewer base. But I don't know if I'd really enjoy that all that much. Like, I would rather have a community that is all-inclusive, which I have, and that can include everyone. And, you know, when you've got a wide range of people, you know, a huge diverse audience, you know, I don't think family-friendly is that easy. So, yeah, I don't think I could do it. But I know people who are, for different reasons. I mentioned Hermes Game Corner because he's practicing. So professional reasons, he has his PG-13, which is fine. We all tone ourselves to whatever audience we're in. But yeah, I'm a bit more laid back on that. So long as it doesn't offend anyone or breach to its terms of service, I don't really care all that much. That doesn't mean go on my stream and everything you say is a swear word, though. You know, everything in moderation and all that. Alright. Next up, considers a little bit more of my professional career. And stuff like that. So, for those of you who are aware, I work in security. So, my next question is, what is my most memorable moment as a security officer? It's kind of hard to answer that question because I've done a lot of things in the last couple of years. I've been to a lot of concerts of all sorts of different things. You know, I've met a lot of different celebrities. I've met politicians. I've met a lot of people doing security, so finding like an individual memorable moment is kind of difficult because there's a lot of great examples. I think one of my favorite moments was at it was at Truckfest in Oxford last year. There was a absolutely incredible like atmosphere going on and stuff like that, and I was head doorman of a nightclub section in there, and I met a lot of great people through there. I supported a lot of people, and I met a lot of the store holders and stuff. So like I was always doing pretty well for 18-hour shifts back to back. Was never fun, but yeah, it was good. I had a lot of great moments there. I met a lot of great people. So if I had to like really pick one, it would probably be that. But again, like, there's so many great moments like that. Picking an individual one is almost impossible. Alright, so next up comes a really interesting question. It was asked by a friend of mine, Viper Bulldog, on Nerkco. And I'm not really sure really how I want to answer this. And it's, what's your favorite planet? It's a little bit out there. I'll be honest, I can't say I've been to any other planet. So I don't really know if I can say anything other than Earth here. And the reason why Earth's my favorite planet, because I'm on it. I don't know. Why did I want me to say? But yeah, no. Like, you know, jokes aside, of course, like, obviously there's a lot of cool fictional planets out there, but yeah, in terms of real world, it has to be our own because we're on it. You know, as much as there are some pretty bad people on it, there's a lot more good people than bad in my eyes. So yeah, favorite planet, Earth. No doubt about it. Next question is more content related, and I actually really liked this question. This question was actually asked me earlier today, actually. And it concerns, of course, Nerkco. How'd you get into it? So, Nerkco first came about thanks to Hermes Game Corner. I've mentioned him a lot in this episode. I hope he's happy. I hope he sponsors me now. Just kidding, right? But Hermes was the first person who introduced me to it. He told me about it before, and I was kind of a little bit nervous because I took a first look at it, and I was like, is this just Facebook? Because it kind of feels like Facebook to me. And so I didn't really look into it. And then I hopped over to Chaco and a Shame stream, and he had Nerkco on his screen. He had it on his overlay, and I was just like, okay, you need to tell me what the hell's going on here. Why are all my friends joining Nerkco all of a sudden? And Chaco's just like, bruh, this is your spot. You gotta get in on this. That's the best Chaco voice I got. Sorry, I can't do American accents. Oh dear. But I was like, okay, fine, I'll give it a go, and if I didn't like it, I'll just delete my account, which you know, it's pretty easy to do on there, which is kind of nice of them. So I hopped on in, and as soon as I jumped in, I think I met like 20 or 30 different people that I'd never heard of before, and they were all just talking to me and stuff like that, and it was great. Like, we were just having conversations, we started hanging out on streams, you know, they hung out on my stream, I hung out on their stream, and some of them have become some of my favorite people on the internet, you know, and like, that's just insane to me, how much they met, and the amount of value that Nerkco has and what they're trying to do is something that is awesome to me. You know, I'm not being paid to say that by Jared, who's the owner, because I'm actually on staff now, but that was how I got into it, and I've constantly talked on there, I constantly post on there, and stuff like that, and yeah, the rest is history, really. I've met so many people from there, and I'm glad I have. So yeah, that's how I got into it, was through friends. And speaking of that, of course, we're currently in invite-only stage for Beta 2.0, and stuff like that. We'll be doing a lot of testing stuff moving forward to get into the new season and stuff like that for Nerkco. There's a lot of awesome stuff coming. You're going to love it. But if you want to join Nerkco and you haven't joined yet, and you are a content creator, whether it's YouTube or Twitch or wherever, down below is a referral link, my referral link. If you want to jump on in, make an account through there, and then message me through my Discord, because you'll need a code to get in. I can actually generate and give you a code, so definitely do that. I highly recommend it. I couldn't recommend it more. If you want to grow as a content creator, presence on Nerkco is definitely worth it for you. Hashtag shameless plug. Alright, next up comes a bit more about my Pokemon sort of fans and the sort of things I like about Pokemon, etc. These are questions I've answered before, but we'll answer them again. And the first one is, what's your favorite Pokemon game? I answer this on stream quite a lot, and a lot of people slate me for it, but I actually think Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are my favorite games. Generally speaking, remakes and stuff like that for me are never the hugest of fans, but when it came to Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire especially, they were so much better than their original games, and it brought back a lot of cool stuff that I really like. And I still think to this day Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire has the best post-game with the Delta episode. Obviously, missing things like Battle Frontier kind of sucks, but, you know, no game is perfect to what everybody wants, but I think for me, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was such a good step up on the 3DS. It was way better than X and Y, in my opinion. And I can't really fault Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire that much. Hoenn was my favorite region in general. So, like, a really good upgraded version was really exciting to me, and I'm really happy with that game. But yeah, Heart Gold, Soul Silver is a close one. And then, of course, Emerald. So, yeah, it's close between those three, but I'd say it's that sort of group of games. Alright, next up is a question that sometimes pops up. Doesn't pop up all that often, but it's an interesting one nonetheless, because the most common I get asked is, what's my favorite Pokemon? Well, the next question I get asked is, aside from Ribombee, what's your favorite Pokemon? And so, this has changed a lot, especially in the last couple of months. Prior to Generation 8, it was Ninetales. It's always really been Ninetales in that sense. I loved its design, I loved its lore, and I loved its origins and stuff like that. Not the hugest fan of its shiny, mostly because of the purple tips on the tails. Don't really think it fits the rest of the shiny all that well, but I really loved Ninetales. But in Generation 8, I've kind of grown a lot of attachment to Orbeetle. And it's kind of stemmed a lot from competitive usage. I actually didn't like Orbeetle at first. It's my friend Arcade Link's favorite Pokemon. He constantly talks about that one. But yeah, for me, I think Orbeetle just has so much, like, interesting stuff. I watched a video by Loxton and Noggin around Orbeetle and the origins and stuff like that, and it was really fascinating to watch and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I actually really like this, and I used it a lot in Draft League. For those who follow my Draft League content, you'll probably recognize I used GMAX Orbeetle in GPL Season 2, and I've had regular Orbeetle in GPL Season 3 and the current EDL season. So, yeah, I've used Orbeetle a fair bit, and I kind of like it. So, yeah, I think it's a toss-up between Ninetales and Orbeetle, but it's definitely one of the two. Alright, next up is an interesting little question. Not really many people ask me, but I think it's a good question nonetheless. And that is, what's your favorite game outside of Pokemon? So, a lot of people notice about me that I'm obsessed with Pokemon after the last 24 years of playing it pretty much non-stop. Yeah, Pokemon is kind of my main game. But, like, outside of it, I've played a lot of different games over the years. A lot of things from RPGs to card games, to, like, deception-based games and stuff like that. I think right now, outside of Pokemon, my favorite game is probably Among Us. I know that's a bit of a meta answer right now, but I play a lot of Among Us on my own stream, on my friends' streams, you know, on random streams, Nerkco streams and stuff. I play a lot of Among Us. I've kind of become addicted to it of late. I feel like it's probably the most appropriate answer I can give. But outside of that, like games like Sid Meier's Civilization 5, really like 5, hate Civ 6. You know, I've played quite a fair bit of Golf with Your Friends and I've played things like Jackbox and stuff like that. I kind of like those games as well. I think they're kind of fun. So, yeah, it's a group of those, but I think Among Us currently takes the cake right now. I think that's clearly the most obvious answer, but it's the most appropriate. Alright, next up, talking about streaming a little bit more in terms of the Pokemon side, because this is a pretty good question from a good friend of mine who's actually just started her first playthrough, is how'd you get Nuzlocke ROMs? So, obviously, the way you get ROMs, Nuzlockes, is a little different. So, obviously, you have to find a ROM. Now, for legal reasons, I can't distribute it at all. So, yeah, unfortunately, I can't show you how to get a ROM, but you can find them pretty easy online. It's not too difficult. And then you use a tool called Universal Pokemon Randomizer if you're doing every gen pre-3DS, so pre-Gen 6. If you're doing post-Gen 6, you need PK 3DS and Pack Hack Essentials, which are easily accessible online. You can find them just by Googling them. And then after you've randomized them, the actual Nuzlocke stuff itself, you self-impose. You don't enforce, or like the game itself doesn't make the Nuzlocke rules for you. There are some fan games out there like Uranium and Insurgents, and I think Empyrean might have one, I'm not sure, that actually have an inbuilt Nuzlocke mode in them and stuff like that, but I'd always stray away from those and be very careful about how those work, because some of them don't have a lot of clauses like Dupe's Clause, Shiny Clause, Species Clause, stuff like that in them. So generally, most people, when they Nuzlocke games, they kind of self-impose the rules. I do this as well, because I have channel points where you guys can interact with the playthrough and stuff like that. So that is kind of the main goal when it comes to Nuzlockes for me. So yeah, generally the Nuzlocke rules are self-imposed. We don't have, like, Nuzlocke ROMs specifically. But yeah, that's how most streamers do their Nuzlockes and stuff like that. So for those who are interested, definitely do them, and I'll watch if you do, because I love Nuzlocks. Alright, next up is gonna be a topic I actually did a full video on, but I wanted to answer it here as well. I did say this in the video that I will answer it here, and I've had some additional thoughts on it, is what do I think about the mid-roll ads? So for those who are unfamiliar, earlier this month, Twitch started testing mid-roll ads for some viewers throughout their streams. As far as I'm aware, nobody in my stream had mid-roll ads. Let me know if you did, and let me know what you thought about them. But for me, mid-roll ads are a bit of an interesting one. Obviously, I'll link the full video down below in the descriptions for you guys to go watch it, so you can hear my initial thoughts. But for me, I don't think mid-roll ads are the worst thing in the world, so long as they're not intrusive. So my kind of requirements for mid-roll ads to be fine for me are they're not intrusive, they don't mute the stream audio, and that, what was I gonna put on this? And it doesn't, like, cover up the whole screen, you know? And I saw a tweet from Killer Web Studio on Twitter that had a really interesting idea where he keeps the stream going, and then, like, the stream kind of minimizes slightly, and then ads just play around the outside of the screen. I thought that was amazing. If I can find a link to that tweet, I'll link it down below as well. Go and watch it. That's kind of what I would want for mid-roll ads. I think, you know, there are certain things that make mid-roll ads good, but this is Twitch, and they probably won't do it right, so yeah. Mid-roll ads would be a cultural shift. It's dumb for most people. A lot of people don't like the concept of mid-roll ads, but it's mostly due to Twitch's bad execution more than anything else. But yeah, a lot of people were surprised by that opinion, by the way. But yeah, that's my general thoughts on it. Go watch the video for my full breakdown, because I think it's well worth your time watching. Alright, next up is gonna be a question that was asked kind of casually in my Discord, but I kind of wanted to answer it because a couple of people have also mentioned it to me in the past, is when will collabs be coming back? So, for quite a long time this year, and I kind of wanted to make it a bit more of a thing this year, I wanted to do a lot more collaborations with you guys and stuff like that. So collabs in terms of stream has kind of become more through Among Us right now. In terms of Pokemon content, I did a lot of collabs with Pokemon to the point where I was pretty much only doing collab projects on stream. And I kind of wanted to step back a little bit from that and kind of do my own playthroughs. So that I wasn't kind of like relying on someone else to make my stream content and stuff like that. It's not like I don't want to rely on other people, but I kind of wanted to take the opportunity to celebrate Now Malefic Top Cat's logos that he made for me, kind of by myself, by doing the Generations Nuzlocke playthrough. We're actually about to start Emerald version relatively soon after this video, so probably if you're watching this video after the time, we might have already started / played it, but yeah. So, in terms of when collabs will be coming back, it largely depends on when the Generations Nuzlocke ends. We'll be ending with an Egglock of Sword and Shield. So, I don't know. Is the honest truth, I can't really give you a definite date because it's kind of impossible to do that. But in terms of collab projects, there's some things I'm thinking of doing. I'm not going to reveal them yet because they're not set in stone or anything like that. But I have some ideas for potential collab projects that I might do at some point in the future. Some might be for YouTube, some might be for Twitch. Obviously, we've been doing the Among Us videos, the Officer Mike Roach Adventures and stuff like that. You guys have been enjoying that. I've been enjoying making those videos. You guys have enjoyed being part of it, and stuff like that. So collabs never really went away. They just kind of weren't really Pokemon-based collabs. But of course, if that's something you're interested in doing, definitely let me know. I might be able to fix something up every now and then. But yeah, for now, collabs are kind of more Among Us based, at the very least. But yeah, I really enjoy it nonetheless. Alright, next up concerns a question from my Discord. A question about my Discord especially. Now, they were kind of asked in two different ways, but I'm going to put both of them here and I'll explain what I do and don't like. So it's, how do you or can you get the streamer friends role in my Discord server? Now, I like the first one, how do you get it, but I don't like the second one as much. Can you have the streamer friends role? Now, both of these questions were asked by newer members to my community. I will point out when I answer this that both of these are great people. I have nothing against either of them, but the wording kind of gets to me a little bit. Now, when you just join my Discord server, and any Discord server for that matter, DMing the owner and asking to get a streamer friends role, it comes across as a little bit entitled to me. I don't know if it's just me that thinks that, or anyone else, but the streamer friends role for me is basically people who have supported me, who are very active in my community, not just by watching my stream, but watching my community streams as well. And, you know, people that I actually enjoy watching, right? It's a difficult thing where I have a mantra where I'll support people who support me. I'm not gonna support people who it's gonna be a one-way street for. Now, I'm not saying the person that asks can they have it is expecting a one-way street, because obviously, essentially what the streamer friends role does is it automatically promotes you in the Discord and it alerts people in that my friends are streaming, right? And stuff like that. So it's kind of essentially better promotion, but you can still promote my Discord anyway. The only requirement is that you don't add everyone. That's basically it. But even then, like, I can still raid you from there and I'll still watch you if you promote in there. But it also tests who's willing to be active, because those that don't actually post in the Discord are not necessarily active anyway. And it also comes down to, like, how much do you really support me? And, you know, a couple of people have raided me, then disappeared, and stuff like that. That, to me, isn't really that much support. It's like, great, you're giving me a few viewers who are probably going to leave because they were watching your stream for you, not necessarily for me. And it's kind of the same when I raid people as well. You know, and it's one of the downsides to raiding in a way where it's like, great, I'll give you my 20 viewers or however many viewers I've got, but probably 5 or 6 of them will stay, if that. So, yeah, it's a very difficult balancing act. If you're raiding and you're in my stream for like an hour and talking to me, that's great, right? That means you're actually actively supporting the content, and that happens. That does happen a lot. Some of the people who have raided me recently have been there the rest of the stream. So, yeah, it comes from a support for support basis, and you also need to be streaming regularly, right? You need to be active in terms of your streaming, because if you're not, then how am I supposed to promote you when there's nothing for me to promote? You know what I mean? So there have been people that I've known for years that haven't streamed in forever that got taken out of the bot because there's nothing for me to promote for them, you know, and stuff like that. But yeah, if you ask how do you get it, I'll answer the same way I just answered. I'll just list all you gotta do and stuff like that. But if you ask can you get it, there's probably a good chance I say no. And it's not because I hate you, it's not because I don't like you. It's because when you're brand new to my community, asking for my streamer friends role is not the smart way to go. It kind of shows a bit of entitlement. Gives off a bad image. Even if it's unintentional, that kind of is what it does. So just be a little careful of that, whether it's my Discord or anyone's Discord for that matter. Just make sure you know how to get there. Alright, that's essentially it. That's all you gotta do. Alright. Next question is gonna be probably an interesting one I didn't ever expect to get asked. Because this topic doesn't come up very often. And that's, can you use my channel point redemptions in your streams? Absolutely. Of course you can, right? I don't own my channel point redemption ideas. They're not even entirely mine, right? I took inspiration from a lot of other creators. My Nuzlocke ones were taking inspiration from my friend Power Punch Plays, who at the time did a lot of Nuzlocke playthroughs and stuff like that. So that was his kind of thing. And I looked at his channel points. I kind of liked them. I thought my chat would like them. So I adapted the prices and stuff for my streaming, and I put them in there. And of course it was a resounding success because a lot of people love killing my mons or making me do Wobbuffet layout or God knows what. Or no swearing for blimmin' ages. Again, Voltage Gamer Girl MZQ. Right. But yeah. In terms of whether you can use mine or whatever, please do. Right? If you like something that I'm doing and you think it adds value to your stream, do it. You don't even need to ask. Just put it in. You know, the Ask Me Anything one that I have was literally taken from my friend Professor Elm5, who he does it, and I was like, you know what, that's actually kind of cool, I kind of like that, so I put it in and I used it, you know, and stuff like that. My Among Us playthroughs were actually suggestions from you guys. I posted in a suggestions channel in my Discord, hey guys, what channel point redemptions would you like for our Among Us streams, and that's what you guys came up with, so I put it in there, you know what I mean? So in terms of whether you can use them, of course. I don't own them. I'm not going to go to your stream and be like, you're copying me. Because, let's be honest here, we all copy each other anyway. So, you know, that's how we decide, like, what's good and what isn't. So, yeah, absolutely. If you like something that I'm doing, please put it in your stream. I know a few people have already done that as well, and stuff like that. But absolutely do it. If you want to use my ideas, please do. Alright. Next up is another question that I got asked that I actually released a full video about, so I'll link that video down below as well. I've got a lot of things to remember to link down below. But yeah, does it bother you when streamers who started after you have more followers than you? So I released a video earlier, last week effectively as it is now, called Your Follower Count Doesn't Matter. And in there, it sort of talks a lot more about my attitude towards follower counts and stuff like that. But a quick TLDR, if you don't want to watch the full breakdown, is I don't really care about your follower count. If I'm honest, I barely even look at my own, let alone anyone else's. Right? And it's like, if you've got a follower goal, and if you've got a number you want to get to, great. Go for it. You know, I'm not going to tell you otherwise. I'm not going to be like, no, you started after me, you're not allowed more followers than me. No. You know. And obviously, we do celebrate follower milestones. I've celebrated every 100 followers that I've got. And stuff like that, because that's awesome. You know, the fact that we've seen a trajectory of new followers coming in and new members of our community is great. But it's more viewership I care about at this point. It's not really follower numbers anymore. Because I'm at the point now where I've got a bunch of followers and I've got a regular viewership that I would love to keep building on, you know? So, no, it doesn't bother me. If people have more followers than me, the viewer numbers are what matters more in that instance, especially if I do want to push for partner and stuff like that. It's all about viewership at this point. So, yeah, following numbers don't really bother me. But feel free to go watch the full video where I explain a lot more about that in a lot more detail. Alright, next question was a bit of a random question that kind of came as a bit of a joke from a previous question about being family friendly. This was a good friend of mine, actually, Malefic Top Cat, who we'll talk about in a little bit later. Is what's your favorite Disney princess? Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even know if this answer technically counts as a Disney princess, but I've been so out of the loop with Disney movies since I've stopped teaching that I honestly don't know if Moana technically counts. But if I had to pick one, it would probably be Moana, just because it's the most recent one that I remember and stuff like that. So, yeah, recency bias would say Moana if that counts. If it doesn't count, I have no idea. I can't really think of official Disney princesses or not. So, but yeah, that's it. It's Moana, and I can't think of anything else. So the last few questions, there's 3 of them. There was going to be 4, but I'll mention the other one at the end of the video because it didn't really age very well. The first, they all concern, of course, Wobbuffet. You guys had to do this to me. I saved this to the end intentionally. First question is, why'd you hate Wobbuffet so much? So, look, I'm going to be honest. Like, there's a lot of reasons why I hate Wobbuffet, but the general TLDR of it is I don't really like its design as much as it's my favorite color. I love sky blue. It just doesn't look very good. It's bland, it's basic, it's boring. It's not really that good looking at all, and stuff like that. Obviously, battle mechanic wise, it's incredibly unhealthily balanced. Like, you know, trapping your opponents in and just doing double damage to them is stupid. It's unhealthy game balance. It's not good for Pokemon in general. And if it did get deleted from the game, I don't think I would be too upset. I think the game will be in a better state for it. So yeah, Wobbuffet, just a terrible design Pokemon. It's a terrible Pokemon as a whole. Its shiny doesn't even make it any better. It's a disgusting shade of pink. The female version with this weird looking lipstick on its mouth. Yeah, I don't know. There's not really a lot to talk about why or anything good about Wobbuffet and stuff like that. It's just such a terrible Pokemon. Alright, next up is my good friend Iron V Darkfire. What a surprise he would ask a question like this. And it's true, very typical long-winded fashion. Darkfire's not a man of a few words. If I dared you to take a full team of Wobbuffet into the Platinum Elite Four, would you? Now, he did add a little extra bit on the end of it, and it's like, and why is it fuck yes? But I'm not going to add that in because it's clearly not the truth. Obviously not. I can't think of anything more boring or anything more of a waste of my time in a Pokemon game out there. This just feels like it wouldn't be fun. Like, why would I ever want to do this? You know, if somebody wants to go do this and they want to make that playthrough, you do you, but it's not going to be me, I'm afraid. Sorry, Darkfire. Alright, the last question. Bit of a meme question that Phoenix and Hermes Game Corner decided they wanted to do. Just to troll me. Really not too surprised to see it. Is what are 3 things you love about Wobbuffet? Now, look. I despise the Pokemon. And that's never going to change. That is my honest opinion. However, there are 3 things, actually, that my hatred of Wobbuffet has done for the channel. The first comes from this, is the Wobbuffet layout channel point redemption, of course. Shoutouts to Nerdoking, who made the incredible Wobbuffet layouts. Without him, this wouldn't have been possible. It also gave birth to this, of course, my Ribombee 1K bid emote. Shoutouts to Chaco Unashamed, who made this emote. And, of course, the last one, and it's probably the most regrettable decision I've ever made, is... Get back in the box, Wobbuchan! Yeah, curse you, Malefic Top Cat. As much as I want to hate it, it's just so well executed that Malefic Top Cat made that happen, and it's hilarious. I love it a lot. It's one of those really funny little additions. But it's given me the opportunity to give 3 incredibly talented artists something on the channel, and I'm extremely grateful to them for all their hard work and everything that they've done. Without them, our content wouldn't be as good as it is now. So, If there were 3 things that I'd have to pick, it would be those 3. I'm sorry if that's a bit of a cheap and cop-out answer, and I know it's not the answer you were expecting, but that is what it is, I'm afraid. Those are going to be the answers. Now, there was one question that did come at the start of the month, but was kind of answered partway through, and it was, is the next shiny hunting stream going to be Wobbuffet? Now, obviously, I did a video a little while ago called Things Are Changing. I'll link that down below as well, where I talked about why we dropped shiny hunting. Shiny hunting really wasn't doing that well for us as a stream and as a community, so we decided to shelve it. It's not going to be gone permanently, though. There are potential ideas for it to come, but ultimately I'm not going to bring it back unless we can make it work, which currently is not the case. It doesn't really do well for our community as a whole. But yeah, in general, I would love to bring shiny hunting back. You know, if maybe doing shiny hunting Wobbuffet was a fun thing to do, then sure, I guess. But yeah, I did rather jokingly do a sub goal at the start of the month for like 100 subs. I'll shiny up Wobbuffet, but yeah, I was never comfortable doing that, so I was quite grateful to take it off. But yeah, in general, stuff like that didn't really age well, because obviously we parked shiny hunting streams. But yeah, I wanted to mention it just because it was there, and it was a question that was asked. But yeah, either way, guys, that's going to be all of the questions we have had today. If you've got any more questions for me, make sure to post them in my Discord. If you're a little bit nervous about asking them publicly, feel free to reach out to me via DM. I do include them in my videos. Some of these questions were asked to me via Discord DMs and private, so I included them just because I wanted everyone to hear the answers. But either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Ribombee Teacher. Stay safe, stay awesome, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.